Hello guys, and thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to talk about how you can be at a national winning program and perform every day. So for you who don't know me, my name is Francis Moti and I have won a national title with IOLX Community College. And today we're going to talk about how anyone can actually do it and how to do it. So to start off, I'm going to show you what I went through and what I got. So this is the national winning medal. So it's gold and it comes in a small case like this, and what you get is almost what, or if not, everyone wants to get. So this is a national title ring. So it comes with the team logo, and your name will be on the sides, then the year you won it, and the school name. So guys, it's not that easy for you guys that just watch soccer. It's not that easy. National winning program is full of competition, full of good players, and the demand from the coaches is high, but the reward is even higher. So today we're going to talk about how you can perform and not feel pressured, and for you to block out all the other problems outside and focus on your game. So the first thing you have to do when you're at a program that's really pushing you, that I didn't know I was doing right, but at the end I realized I've been taking the good steps. So the first thing is to make sure you push yourself, and every training matters. What you do in practice is what's going to show up in games, and for your coaches, they want to see the person they want to play every time in practice. So at our program, we had a very competitive team. We had a first team and a second team, and it was so easy for someone to come from a second team to go up to the first team because of the quality that was all around the pitch. And this is how you do this is what you do for you to be able to stay up in the first team and to be able to play most games. For me, it wasn't easy. We had a lot of competition in positions. It was a lot of competition in every positions, but what I had to do was even what was needed and even more. So first of all, when we came in our preseason, when everyone came in fall, what we had to do was a lot of fitness. And for the coaches at a top program like my coach, Coach Ben McRae, which is a very good guy. He's a demanding guy, but he's also a loving guy. So what he did was make sure the training environment is a competitive environment, and make sure that everyone knew what was expected out of them, but he also knew how to take it out of the players. So this is what we did when we came in for our spring season, our fall season. So we came in and we had a lot of fitness exercises that we had to do. We had a fitness plan that we had to run through the summer, and for some players they had it easy because they had to play some summer games. Me, I didn't get to play some summer games because I had some studies to do. But this is what I did. I make sure I followed the plan and make sure that I'm fit and even fitter than the players that are playing when I wasn't playing. So when we came in, we had a fitness exercise. The first fitness exercise that we had to do was a 2-mile test. So we had to complete a 2-mile test. The first mile was supposed to be finished in under 5 minutes 50 seconds. And the second mile was supposed to be completed in under 5 minutes 35 seconds. So the second mile was supposed to be completed even faster than the first mile. That's not an easy thing to do. So after that fitness exercise that we had to do, we had to also go through a beep test. That's a lot of players' nightmare. So at the beep test, the level that you had to get as an infield player was level 13 and above. Then the level that you had to get as a goalkeeper was level 10 and above. So a lot of players who came fit found it easy, and they even got to level 15, level 14. But for me, we hadn't been playing for summer. I had to push myself and take out everything that I had in me for me to be able to complete level 13. And I did like 13.5. So from there, what it shows the coach is the players that were willing to do the work without anyone pushing them over the summer. And I passed that first test So the next test was to show what you can do with the ball. So the second thing that we had to do, we had to be put into teams and play a lot of small-sided games. What does the small-sided games have to do with the big games? Okay, so the small-sided games, what they have to contribute to the game is how the player can play in under tight situation, competitive environment, and just how to perform when a lot of people are looking at you. So we had assistant coaches, visiting coaches, and our head coach looking at our games, and all you had to do was the first impressions. For players like me who were senior players and they've been around the program, it was even harder because we had to make sure that we put our name out there to be seen, that no other new players who are coming in are going to take our positions. That's a very, very difficult position to be, but it also pushes you. So after we were done with all of those, the team was trimmed down. So at IOLEX we have a number of players. We have like 50 players to compete for the first team. So the teams had to be splitted in half. That's a really, really huge jump from 50 to only 25 players to focus on what the teams were trying to do and to focus on the games that were upcoming. I managed to make the 25 players because I was expected to do that as a senior player, and I managed to jump that first hurdle. So as we went into the season, that's when the more problem comes. So a lot of people, what they just want to do is just make sure they pass the fitness test, but it's more than the fitness test. As you know that the game is played in the field and not in the tracks. So when we went into the first games, sometimes it takes a lot from you as a player because we had to play Wednesday and we have to play Saturday again and back on Wednesday. Sometimes we had to play Tuesday and Thursday and back on Saturday. So what it does is take a strain out of you physically and mentally too, as you'll be playing a lot of games in a less turnover. So this is what we had to do as players, and the coaches made sure that we respect our recovery procedure, and our assistant coach, Mr. Nick Semnani, made sure that we went through all our recovery sessions, and thanks to our athletics trainer, Anna, we thank her for everything that she has done for us, because to be honest, those games are a lot for a player, and given that we have a small time from the time we come in the fall and to the time that we had to finish the games in close to December, if you went on to win the nationals or if you went on to go to the further stage, the more time you have to play games. So that time doesn't really produce a recovery period that is really sufficient for players. But what it takes is a team effort, which is from your recovery session, the type of diet you have. And guys, if you like my story, can you please subscribe, comment, and share this video with as many people as we can, as I am trying to launch a big YouTube channel to support young athletes and young kids that wants to go through the journey and maybe one day win a national title with their teams. So please subscribe and support me. I'm trying to get at least 1,000 subscribers by the end of this month. Okay, now without forgetting the most difficult part as being a student athlete is managing that your books are taken care of as well as your sporting side. So when you're at a very demanding program, sometimes you tend to forget about the academics and just focus on playing, because some of the players that doesn't play are really stressed out because they want to be on the pitch, because they know that they have the quality to be on the pitch, but they're not showing that quality well enough for the coaches to change their minds. So what you have to go through is a lot, and it's all up to your time management and how really you want to perform and how you want to do in classes, because at a junior college, it's what you do at a junior college that's going to transfer to a four-year school. So your academics are equally important. And our coach always mentioned that we are a student first. So as you can see, it says student athlete, not athlete student. So we are student athletes, so what we have to make sure we do is to make sure our books are well taken care of before we even go to the pitch. So our books were even looked at, and our coaches had to make sure that we are linked to a student advisor that will always look at our grades, and when we are not performing good in class, and some players didn't get to play because their grades were not good enough, and that will be letting your team down and letting yourself down. So for me, I managed to make sure that my books were well taken care of, and I gave myself time to do my studies way before I have to show up for the pitch, and my studies has to be up as well as my performances. So this is how I managed my studies and books. It's not a very easy thing to do because academics is also equally as demanding as the sporting side. For you guys who struggle with algebra and other mathematics, actually knows that the pressure is even higher. So this is what I had to do is I had to make sure that I set my time, I set my calendar, and know that this is from this time to this time, it's only studies. Nothing to do with soccer, only studies, and block out those stress from the soccer side and put everything that I have on my studies. And that actually paid off as I managed to get a GPA which was really high. I got above a 3.9 GPA out of junior college, which is good but not easy. And the next part that we have to talk about is just how you can go from a bad performance to a good performance. So as you can see, we are a national winning team. It doesn't mean everyone was playing good every day. Sometimes I had my bad days. Sometimes I needed my teams to take care of the game when I couldn't do it. So this is what I had to go through when I had my worst times. So for you guys that have partners, as a student, I know you guys have girlfriends, and if you're a female player, you have your boyfriend. For me, I didn't really talk to my parents about a lot of my soccer problems because I didn't want my parents to stress, because I'm an international student, and you know, parents always stress when you are far from home. So I didn't want to show my mom that sometimes I was stressing. So I talked a lot with my girlfriend, and all the rage that I had, I always tell her that this and this, I always complained to her, and she knew how to take it out of me, and she knew how to push me towards the game. So what I always did was I had to react from a bad performance. I have to react with even more enthusiasm, look at the games that I played bad, put out clips that I played bad, and make sure I learn from those mistakes. Because some of us want that reel to put on Instagram, you want that dribble to put on Instagram, you want that dribble to put on TikTok and everything. But the most important clip is the clip that you keep to yourself. Most of you that knows me, they know me from my TikToks, they know me from my Instagram, which is at Francis Moti, and all they see there is that goals. They see dribbles, they see everything. They think maybe I play perfect, but sometimes I have my worst games, and those clips, I keep them for myself to correct them and do even better. So what you have to make sure you do is, like, after every game, you have to put a clip for yourself and learn from the worst clips, and of course put out those good clips so that you can still put your athletic profile out there so that people can see what you do and every time, which is also good for you, for your agents that might want to look at you, for your future schools that will want to look at how much you love the game. So some are also asking, like, how can you improve after injuries? So it's a short period, which is only like 3 months, 2 months maybe if you don't even go further. For us, we had to go through almost 4 months. It's hard for you to go from an injury and come back and play. For me, it was during the middle of the season that I had an injury that almost took me out from the whole season. And as I mentioned before, we thank to our coaches and our athletic trainer who made sure that we do the procedures well for us to be able to come back in time and to come back fitter. So I had a muscle injury early in the season. I had like a hip flexor injury, which went on to develop to be a hamstring injury, because as you know, as an athlete, that if the other muscle is weaker, it put more strain on the other muscle. So my hip flexors made me also pull my hamstring. So I pulled my left hammy, as you can see on that picture, that I had to play most games with a strap, and it was coming from the time that I was injured and coming back. And that's the most difficult part, is because, as I mentioned before, it's a very competitive team. So as soon as you get injured, there's always someone up next who can also grab your position and perform even better. For us, I had competition from a very good player who was from Ireland. So he was a very good player, and I knew that getting injured is not really a good thing to do, because someone is out there who is also good and can also provide what you were providing, and maybe even more sometimes. And for me, it was really frustrating, because I knew that I wanted to play but I couldn't. So I had to go through the process of recovery. I missed at least 3 weeks of games. That's a lot of games to come back, and it took a lot of hard work to come back to that standard and to perform for me to be able to get my position back. So it was from the half of the season. If you like my story and you think I should also give you more of this story, may you please comment and say we want to hear more. And some of you want to hear the whole story from my first time as a freshman to the time that I was as a sophomore. Please comment, and so that I know that you want this even more. So thank you.